Hey, everybody, welcome back to another video here on the Washington Football Maniacs YouTube channel. My name is Greg, and if you're new here, this channel is dedicated to news and commentary for your Washington Commanders. So if you're down with that, please make sure that you have subscribed to the channel. When you do, also hit that notification bell so you won't miss any other video releases. So the 30-page term sheet has been revealed for the new stadium deal for the Washington Commanders, going back to the old RFK site. We're going to get right on into this because I think that's what we need to do. Joe Pompliano reports that a new stadium deal has these terms, and these terms are covered in a 30-page term sheet. Obviously, we're not going to go over all of those details, and I will tell you, I will be upfront. There's going to be a little bit of financial, legal jargon in here that I don't understand. Some of you guys out there who are financial gurus probably understand, and maybe you will be able to comment to explain a little bit further as far as what some of this stuff means. But anyway, the details include a $1 annual lease payment, no property tax, and free luxury suites for the mayor. So right there, it's something good for everybody, right? $1 annual lease. I had to read that several times. I don't quite understand this $1 thing, but I think it's again, some of you people who are into commercial real estate, finances, and things like that can probably explain in the comments section why they're doing this. So here's what you need to know. The Commanders will contribute at least $2.5 billion to the project and be responsible for any excess cost exceeding DC's contribution, which is around $1 billion. So anything over $1 billion, Josh Harris takes care of. Number two, DC will own the stadium and the land it sits on. So this is not even land that the Harris Group will own. DC will continue to own not only the land, but the building as well. DC will rent the stadium and its parking facilities back to the Commanders for $1 annually. Sorry, I know some people are like, I can't stand to hear you sipping your coffee, but it's early in the morning. I need some caffeine if I'm going to get through this video. Okay. So DC will rent the stadium and its parking facilities back to the Commanders for $1 annually. The 30-year lease has 4 consecutive 5-year renewal options, effectively turning it into a 50-year lease. This part I'm still trying to work out in my head. Number 4, the Commanders will sign a 60-year lease for the commercial development. Think entertainment district. This lease will have 3 consecutive 10-year renewal options, effectively making it a 90-year lease. So pretty much the Commanders are here to stay in DC if all this goes through. Number 5, the Commanders will pay $1 annually for the initial 28 years of the commercial development lease. After that term, the team will pay fair market value. Okay. 6, the DC government will receive 2 complimentary 18-person suites at the 30-yard line for exclusive use by the mayor and the council. So, this is the this is the, what do you call it? I'm trying to think of a good analogy. Early in the morning, I'm telling you. I guess this is just the bait, right? That this is to get them in, like, oh, luxury suites at the stadium, 18 person. So pretty much you and your family, your friends can come along and watch a football game in style. Number 7, the Commanders have to pay stadium operating costs, but get to keep all revenue from both NFL and non-NFL events, including ticket sales, merchandise concessions, naming rights, and sponsorship deals. They'll make a ton of money with all of that. Number 8, the Commanders will not be required to pay property taxes on the land used for the stadium and the parking facilities. That's because the stadium and the land will be owned by DC and not by the Harris Group. Number 8, the Commanders will not be required to pay property taxes on lands used for the stadium and parking facilities. Did I just sorry. Uh Number 9, the Commanders will not be charged sales tax on income generated from the sale of personal seat licenses, the PSLs that some of the fans on Twitter were kind of talking about, or any parking related revenue. So they will not be charged sales tax on any of that. I'm sure the fans probably still will. 10, the Commanders will be charged a sales tax on revenue generated in the stadium, including ticket and merchandise sales. This money will be placed in a reserve fund to pay the debt service on the city's stadium bonds, with the funds excess cash used to fund ongoing maintenance and repair costs. The term sheet also says that the stadium could eventually be used by a professional women's soccer team, and that the Commanders will try to activate the stadium for at least 200 days each year. That includes NFL games, concerts, and other events such as the UFC and potentially the Super Bowl. So that is a snapshot, and you can look up Joe Pompilano on Twitter or X and read up a little bit more on this. He's got some more detail on all the financials. Again, I'm horrible at finances, so I don't even begin to understand why all this is done. But it sounds like a good deal on both the Commander side and the DC side. So, um, you know, I mean, the Harris Company is uh, they're footing the bill on the majority, 75% of the build of the stadium, while um, essentially giving up ownership of it. This is what it sounds like to me as a layman. Um, giving it back. They're building it, and then okay, DC, this is yours. We're giving it back to you. But we'll lease it back out to you $1 each month. Fair deal, right? So it's something good for everybody, it seems like. And plus, um, revenue made is, especially the sales tax and things like that, will go for renovations, and sounds like also to kind of help build up the infrastructure around the stadium as well. So um, it seems like it's a way to keep the taxes in check for uh, surrounding residents in DC. I could be wrong on that. Again, I don't. I'm not into all this, so I don't really understand. But um, it sounds like a very sweet deal. It sounds like a very sweet deal for both DC and the Commanders. Honestly, they belong back in DC. I don't think. I don't think you're really going to get too much pushback on that type, unless you live in Maryland. Now there's been a lot of Marylanders who are upset that the team is moving back into DC. They wanted the team to stay in Maryland because it's more convenient for them. Um, but guess what? There is a lot of Commanders fans in Virginia, North Carolina, and of course, DC. So, Maryland also has the Baltimore Ravens. And, without getting into this contest of, you know, uh, where they should be, I think ultimately being back at the RFK site is the best place for them. Um, we'll likely have, access to the metro, and that's probably going to come in handy. They talked about possible, like other uh, travel means, trains and things like that. That's going to really be a necessity because of the parking is going to be so much less at this stadium than what it was at FedEx or Northwest Stadium. Um, and of course, people also complaining about there's not going to be as much of an area for tailgating either. Um, I think was it a 20,000 parking spaces at FedEx or again Northwest, and I think at this stadium it's going to be 8,000, I believe, roughly. I can't remember exactly how many parking spots would be allocated to tailgating. But that's kind of sounds like where it's gonna be, and of course, the stadium's going to be much smaller. It's only going to hold about 65,000. But you know what? I think in the long run that will be okay. Certainly, they want to build a multi-purpose site for the Super Bowl, for concerts. They talked about having this thing active for 200 days out of a 365-day year. So, it's not going to be something that just kind of sits empty, for 6 months or so, 9 months or whatever out of the year. It's going to be a multi-purpose stadium, eventually having soccer there as well. So, all in all, I think it's a great deal. It sounds like something that I don't think that I see getting voted down. I just want this to hurry up and become legit, right? Until that way, maybe we can concentrate on stupid stuff like they need to change your names again or something like that. Anyway, folks, hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a like and give it a share. And with that said, I have got to go to work. So I'll see you in the next one.